My God, how's everything? Good. Yeah, chilling, chilling.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's try it again. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Does everybody stand up really quickly? Good morning, Mr. and Miss Clinton. You guys look nice. All right, everybody take a stretch for me. Everybody stretch, stretch. Let's get excited about Beacon Forum on this morning and some announcements that we have coming from athletics and from Trio. So I want everyone to do really quickly, find someone in the room that you don't know and just to give them one good thing that happened to you this week so far. Find someone that you don't know in the room. So everybody should be moving. You shouldn't talk to the person standing next to you. Everybody should be moving around, moving around. Let's go. Let's move around, move around, move around. Mr. Clinton, you know her. All right, who can I get one volunteer or two volunteers just to tell me who you met and the one fact about them, something good that happened? Two people or one group?
Morgan, they got to talk in that mic right there.
The mic right there. Okay. Do we have anybody? One group that on one pair? You could introduce that person that you just met. I know I have one person. We in college now. I know we have one person in here that can volunteer. All right, we have a volunteer. We have a group right here. You guys come to the mic right here. Introduce each other.
Eli, you slide over a little bit more, like one chair over.
Turn it on. Is it on?
Press and hold the button up top.
Oh,
All
this
right.
work? Okay,
Yeah,
but
there we go.
well, I'm Tim. This is Nadia. One thing about her, she like fruit salads, and honestly, I do too.
Fruit salad. Okay.
What she do?
What do I do? Oh shoot, fruit salads, anime.
We both like fruit salad, so we're gonna make some later.
All right, cool. Let's give it up for Tim and Nadia. All right, everybody, you can take your seats. We're going to go ahead and get started with our program for today. And so I'm going to bring up, he just actually left the mic. We bring one of our student leaders, our resident assistants, Timothy Clanton, to do our welcome and purpose for this morning.
What's going on, Bear Nation? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? All right. Well, I'm Timothy Clanton. I go by Tim. I'm a freshman here. I'm from Stonecrest, Georgia. This thing will not stay. I'm a liberal arts major. I'm a resident assistant, and I just made a cheer team. So thank y'all. So yeah, welcome to the second installment of our 2022-2023 Beacon Forum series. The purpose of our Beacon Forum series is to bring together our campus community each Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon for a dedicated time of inspiration, education, and fellowship. Beacon Forum exposes our Clinton College family to a variety of leaders in thought, change agents, creatives, and innovators who embody one or more of our core values, which are scholarship, servant leadership, social change, and spirituality. Beacon Forum gives us an opportunity to have meaningful conversations with professionals who are making a difference in our world. At the appropriate time today, President McCorm will lead us in Q&A sessions with today's speaker. We welcome you, students, staff, and our online audience viewing on Facebook and YouTube. And to our online audience, please feel free to share your questions and reflections in the comment section on your viewing site of choice during our Q&A session. We are delighted to have Senior Associate Attorney of Mecklenburg County and Adjunct Professor at Catawba College and Johnson C. Smith University, Keith Smith. And on behalf of the entire Clinton College family, we say thank you to our friends from the community for spending part of your day with us. Be sure to follow our social media platforms for updates on future events, new academic programs, course offerings, and other activities. I hope you will enjoy today's program. And now I invite fellow RA and fellow cheerleader Tamara Johnson to come and offer the invocation.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. And now, if you don't mind bowing your head and closing your eyes, I would like to lead us in a prayer. Dear Lord, I want to thank you for waking everyone up this morning and starting them on their way. We thank you for blessing us and want to ask you to help us all stay on the right path and lead us into the right track in and outside of school and classes. Guide us to all things that strengthen us through you. And in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, amen.
Okay, next we will have our chair coach, Ms. Kristen Brown, and the Clinton College Chair Squad join us, followed by the introduction of our speaker for today, introduced by Ms. Clinton College, Ms. Patrice Berrios.
Good morning. As Dr. Morgan mentioned, my name is Coach Brown. I'm the cheerleading coach here at Clinton College. And on this past Friday, we had our cheerleading tryouts, and I am so excited to introduce our new 2022-2023 cheerleading team. As you'll notice, we have doubled in size. So I look forward to them cheering on our Lady Golden Bears volleyball team, our basketball teams, as well as competing this year. It's our first year we're entering into a competition, so look out for that information to come out and support our ladies and gentlemen. So when I call your name, please come up, and if you all will please help me in congratulating them. Elijah Rogers, Patrice Berrios, Zaria Walker, Kiara Epps, Gianna Giarretto, Zion Sally, Hadia Brown, Lanaya Randolph, Lanasia Brown, Tamara Johnson, Timothy Clinton, Gabriella Coleman, and our one and only who holds us down, Ms. Des Huntley. Come on. All right, so now that we have a team in place, we are going to lead this week's spirit segment. I'm going to pass the mic over to Mr. Clinton, Elijah Rogers.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? So we're going to teach y'all a little easy cheer. Trust me, it's nothing too hard. So here are the words. Hey, let's go CC. We got that Clinton pride. Hey, let's go CC. Let's go. So when we start, we would love it for y'all to join in, please.
We got that Clinton pride. Hey, let's go CC. We got that Clinton pride. Hey, let's go CC. We got that Clinton pride. Hey, let's go CC. Let's go CC. Let's. Oh, just okay. Hi, everybody. Today I will be introducing our speaker. Keith S. Smith, a senior associate attorney for Mecklenburg County, has represented the county in child maltreatment cases at the trial and appellate level since 2005. Smith served as the coordinator of the Court Improvement Project from 2001 to 2002, and as an assistant district attorney in Rowan County from 2002 to 2005. Smith serves as an adjunct professor at Catawba College and Johnson C. Smith University. Smith formerly coordinated the criminal justice program at Catawba from 2001 to 2007 and has taught at Catawba continuously since 2001. Smith previously served as a CPS investigator in Mecklenburg County for 10 years, handling emergency and conflict of interest investigations for 5 years, and as a state probation parole officer and prison staffer for more than 5 years. Smith has a JD from North Carolina Central University Turner School of Law, MS degree from UNC Charlotte, and bachelor's degree from UNC Chapel Hill. He is a board member of the Police Activities League Board of Directors, is a former chair of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Workforce Development Youth Council, and previously served as the Mecklenburg County Human Services Board. Smith was selected as the Mayor's Mentoring Alliance Mentor of the Year in 2014 from Charlotte. He is a member of 100 Black Men of Charlotte, Unique Lodge 85, Mount Carmel Baptist Church, and is a life member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. He is married to Shannon Chavez Smith and has an adult daughter, Celeste Smith. So with the thanks of everybody, please welcome Mr. Smith.
Good morning, Clinton College. Daggone, you made me sound good. Can I say daggone? All right. I need for y'all to do me a favor. I got to take a picture of this beautiful, beautiful audience. This is tremendous. Thank you. When I was listening to the introduction, I think the one thing that stood out was it sounded like I'm like really old. How many of you all were born before 2000? Anybody born before 2000? So we have about 5 people. I've been working professionally since 1987. Most of your professors weren't even around 1987. So I've been in the journey a long time. It's always good to see young folk that are not only inspiring themselves, but inspiring other folk. So first, I'd like to thank Clinton College for this opportunity, Dr. McCord for this opportunity to come out and speak with you, Dr. Brown and all the other staff members. And one of the things that I will emphasize is that everybody here is being poured into by these staff members. I'm looking at what Clinton College's pillars are: scholarship, service leadership, spirituality, and social change. That's what this school was established for back in 1894. 1894 is a mighty long time ago, right? Take a journey with me back to 1894. Would anybody have been sitting in this space before 1894? No. Why? Our people were where? The majority of our folk were where? They were enslaved. They didn't have the opportunities. Even looking at individuals from the majority community. How many females we have in here? A lot. Raise your hands if you're a female. You probably wouldn't have been in somebody's college in 1894. So thank God for schools like Clinton College for providing this opportunity. So as I indicated earlier, I want to thank Dr. McCord for his illustrious and visionary presidency and his leadership as Clinton College continues to educate, equip, and empower students. And I want you to focus on the letter E. I'll be talking a lot about E's and threes. E's is a concept that I'm borrowing from one of my frat brothers, Brother Patrick Ward. He actually spells his name Patrickee, and he emphasizes the E. So those 3 E's that I just mentioned again were educating, equipping, and empowering. You know there's a test at the end, right? Did they tell you about the exam at the end? All right, so I need for y'all to listen and get these letters down. They're not about that, he said. But I'm joking about the test, but just try to remember the concept. For more than 125 years, Clinton has been that beacon of education, engagement, and excellence. And you all as students are continuing that process and promoting that position of being a beacon of excellence or a torch of excellence. Second, I would like to thank each of you individually and collectively, because you didn't have to be in school. You could have been somewhere else. If you think about it, the majority of folk are not in this position of power. You are in a position of power. You have the whole world in your hands because you are being educated, and you're also providing an opportunity to educate others. Third, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the professors, the deans, the staff, from the cafeteria to the maintenance folk for pouring into you, because they have to have some belief in you to come and do what they do every day. Now, I was thinking myself when I got up this morning, I was invited by, have y'all met Dr. Tony McNeil? Yeah, I was saying, I got a day off from work. I got me a free day. You know, what could I do with my free day? I could go kick it, go watch some movies, have a good time. But what's the problem with that? That would have been improper. Why? Because I had indicated that I had a commitment, right? That I was going to come and spend some time with the great students of Clinton College. I met Dr. McNeil 30 years ago. He was actually a student, sophomore at Appalachian State University. I actually met him when he was going through intake for a Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. He was on the charter line up at Appalachian State. And something that stood out about those group of young men, it was 12 of them. They were organically sourced. They essentially started the chapter on their own. It was 12 guys that came together and said, well, we think there should be another organization on the campus. No offense to any other organizations. They just thought there should be another organization. And what I found was each of them was diverse. There was some athletes on the team. There was a basketball player on the team. There was some football players on the team. There was a cheerleader on the team. There were scholars, just straight up scholars on the team. They were all scholars, but there were some that were more academically inclined than others. But it's been amazing to watch them over the course of time develop into the men that they happen to be. At the time they were in college, they were all essentially in your age set. They were 18 to 20. And now I look at them, daggone, 30 years later, they're all professionals, professional educators, professional musicians, executives, people on the board of trustees of major corporations. There is a tattoo artist who's phenomenal in Charlotte at Charlotte Tattoo Company. These are folk that are doing it big. And the reason I share that information is because you are in the same position. Only, I think you're in a better position because you have so much knowledge right at your hands. This is amazing. This is a computer. When I was your age, you know what the computer was? It's a computer that I still use. This was the computer. Paper, pencils, that was it. Yeah, there were computers that IBM had, but those computers back at that time were bigger than that banner, bigger than this space. Now you have the whole world at your hands. The reason I mentioned that process for Dr. McNeil was because they also were focused on brotherhood, scholarship, and service. And I note that your pillars are what? I need for y'all to be engaged. So what are the pillars of Clinton College? I need for you to say it loud because I'm old. Scholarship, servant leadership, spirituality, social change. And I want you all to take that vow that y'all are going to be about that life. Those 4 pillars will direct you to wherever you need to be. And the reason I mention those guys also is because they employed, emphasized, and edified being self-motivated, self-determined, but not selfish. Once again, I said self-motivated, self-determined, but not selfish. It's not all about me. And although I'll be talking a lot about me for the next 7 minutes and 30 seconds, it's not about me. It's purely about helping others. And when they were going through my bio, you heard the type of work that I do. The reason I do the type of work that I do is a ministry. It is a mission. It's not about the money. If anybody's familiar with the Child Protective Services system, we deal with cases of child maltreatment, child abuse, child dependency, children that are going through all sorts of trauma. And the reason I took that on as a ministry is because I love people, but also to share a little bit of my journey. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, well before anybody in here was around, to a young mother. She was 16 at the time that she gave birth to me. And she actually passed away very early in life. So I stayed with my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, for a period of time. But I was blessed that my maternal grandmother had a friend, a very good friend from North Carolina, from Rowan County, North Carolina. Actually, their family is, anybody heard of Hickory Grove, South Carolina? I think Hickory Grove is like right up the street, right? That family was from Hickory Grove, South Carolina. But that lady that was in Brooklyn, New York, who was a nurse, who was a friend of my maternal grandmother, said, my sister and her husband are interested in raising a child. And I was blessed to come to a big city. I heard my young brother, Mr. Clanton, say, Stumpcrest, Georgia. Where? Stumpcrest or Stonecrest? Oh, Stonecrest. Oh, Stonecrest is a big city. I apologize. Stonecrest. I thought he said Stumpcrest. I might have them. I'm from a big city, China Grove, North Carolina. Anybody ever heard of China Grove? Exit 68. Anybody ever been to China Grove? You may have been through it. Yeah, through it. Now, when I was growing up, China Grove had a population of 2,100. That means we had about 3 or 4 stoplights. Now, many, many years later, we have about 4,100 people and about 15 stoplights. So as you can tell, small town. But what I will say about China Grove, growing up in China Grove, was I was blessed to be surrounded by individuals who poured into me. And I was looking back at the demographics of China Grove. China Grove is only about 4% black. But I never knew it was a mainly majority community. Why? Because those people provided support. That church provided support. Everyone there provided support. Now, when Dr. McNeil indicated this is the Beacon series, I had to look up Beacon because although I have a few degrees and stuff, sometimes it helps to look up what is a beacon. A beacon is a lighthouse or other signal for guidance, a source of light or inspiration, a signal fire commonly on a hill, a tower or pole. And the reason I wanted to look that up is because I wanted to see how that plays into who you are and who I am. A beacon. Raise your hand if you're a beacon. Everybody should raise their hand. Y'all all are beacons. You're all are beacons because you are someone who is providing some level of influence. How many of y'all are on social media? And the people that are on social media, we call them what? The ones that have a lot of bump, a lot of vibe. We call them influencers, right? Am I right? And everybody wants what? The likes, right? And everybody wants to be popular, right? But it's not just about popularity. It's about the ability to influence people positively. You have the opportunity as students, as citizens, to influence folk positively or negatively. How many of you all have younger siblings? Raise your hands. This is the call and response section. Do they look up to you? Probably, hopefully. And you're here in school with the intention of having that influence over those individuals. Going on. Dang, I said y'all are all under the age of 25 for the most part. So I'm a little jealous of y'all. Not because y'all are young. That's just one reason I'm jealous of you. But the second reason I'm jealous of you is because you have the whole world at your hands. The whole world is yours. You have the ability to influence folk from the palm of your hand. You have the ability to pull up whatever information you need from the palm of your hand. You have the ability to monetize and market yourself from the palms of your hands. If you want to put out some music, do you have to go through a studio producer? Yay? No? No, you can do it on your own, right? Most of the millionaires and multi-billionaires are doing it on their own, and that's the ability that you have. Let me go back in time for you. When I first got a phone working for CPS back in the day, I had a bag phone. Anybody ever seen a bag phone? Pull it up on your device. A bag phone was about this wide. It probably weighed about 3 pounds. And then, and I thought I was somebody because I had a bag phone and most people didn't even have a cell phone. So we went from a bag phone to a block phone. Anybody ever heard of a block phone? A block phone was about this tall and this thick. It probably weighed about 2 pounds. So the weight was going down a little bit, but it was still heavy. Then we went from the block phone to the fact I had a car phone in my car that had to be actually installed in my car and had the antenna on the back. And then we went to a flip phone. Anybody in here still have a flip phone? Now, y'all laugh at me at a flip phone. Anybody ever seen a flip phone? All right. Yeah, they are bringing them back. So it's interesting how we go through the course of time. The reason I mention those things again is because you have the ability to enlighten, educate, and even entertain just from the palm of your hands. So I really appreciate you sharing some of my biography and background. As I said, I was raised by some phenomenal folk up in China Grove, North Carolina. Actually, they were older parents. They actually were my age when they started raising me. And back then, I thought that was a little different because they were older than all my peers' parents. But what I now recognize is that they had experience, life experience, that actually helped me avoid some of the challenges that some of my peers had to deal with. It was amazing. Now, they weren't highly educated, but what they were was they were highly informed. They read, they stayed abreast of things, and they were committed, most importantly, to parenting. They were most committed to helping others. They were extraordinary. So what I once looked at as age, I now look at as experience. They were experienced and they were exceptional. And we're gonna wind it up. They taught me three primary things: honesty, hard work, and just being committed to human kindness. Okay? Hard work. How many of y'all like to work hard? Okay, all right. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, we'll start talking about honesty, and we all know what honesty is. We all know what it means to tell the truth, and I had to look up a Bible verse because I'm not super versed in all the scriptures like Dr. McCorn, but we know that honesty is important. If we look at Deuteronomy 25:16 states, "For the Lord your God detests anyone who does those things, anyone who deals with folk dishonestly." And looking at my life, my most challenging circumstances have come from me being dishonest, from not telling the truth, by going astray. That's on me. That's not on my parents. It's on me. And what I would encourage you to do is to always maintain your word. Going back to what I said about Dr. McNeil and me saying I'm not coming today, y'all wouldn't have cared because y'all got other things to do. It wouldn't have mattered to you. You won't remember anything I said today. But I would have been impacted by that because I did not honor my word to Dr. McNeil. I did not honor my word to Killeen College. And thinking about it, the only thing you would have remembered was, doggone, that Keith Smith was sorry. He didn't have the ability and the couth to show up. He stood us up. And you would have remembered that. And that's not what we should be about. That's not what my parents taught me. And hopefully that's not what your parents and guardians taught you. As I said, whenever I look back at some of the challenges in my life, some of those challenges have come from me being dishonest. So I'm not always saying you don't need to be brutally honest. You don't need to go around telling people exactly what you feel and think all the time just because I said be honest. What I am saying is you need to be honest in your dealings with folk. All right, going back to the question of hard work. Once again, I need for you to raise your hands if you like hard work. Now, didn't we just talk about honesty? All right. Yeah, some people do like hard work. Some people like working hard. I'm not one of them. I don't like hard work or working hard, but the reality is I have done both. I have worked hard and I've done hard work. I'll go through a list of some of my jobs. And you're like, he's a college educated guy. He's got these degrees. He's been a professor. But I've done all sorts of work. My first job was working at the age of 7, cleaning up the church. At the age of 11, I moved and progressed to cleaning up the church and cutting the grass of the church. At the age of 16, I got my first paid job with a check from a place called Cannon Mills in Kannapolis, North Carolina, where I worked in plant 1, card room number 3. And what we did back in the day, and I know none of you all are familiar with cotton mills, but everybody in here's got on a cotton blend or a cotton shirt. And guess where they make the material for those shirts and those pants? They make them in cotton mills. So between the ages of 16 and 18, I worked full time. After I left my high school classes at 2 o'clock, I worked from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday in that cotton mill. And I progressed to college, and I was fortunate to get to college. One of the counselors at my high school took some interest in me and actually indicated or promoted me to go to a particular school. And although my SAT scores were suspect, she still poured into me. You know, she was like, you need to do this. So I got involved with Project Uplift, and I went to UNC at Chapel Hill, and I did okay in college. Some of the other jobs that I've held besides working in the cotton mill, I worked on a freight dock, working at Yellow Freight back in time. I have worked as a probation parole officer as indicated. That's some of my professional jobs, but I've also been a carpenter's helper. I ran a landscaping company for a period of time where I hired 2 high school students. And the reason I share that information is not about just the fact of work. It's about sometimes there was a song a while back by an artist, I don't remember his name, Hustle Hard. Anybody remember that? You got to go hard in the boulevard, you know? So sometimes you have to hustle. Sometimes you have to work a little extra. And it doesn't mean that you're not pursuing your goals. It means that you are taking all the legitimate steps necessary to get where you need to go to. Now, looking back at my parents again, my parents didn't have the same opportunities that I have, and they didn't have the same opportunities that you have. They had to work hard because their opportunities were limited. They didn't have the same options that I have. They didn't have the same options that my daughter has. They don't have the same options that you have. You can avoid some of those challenges, and you can pretty well choose whatever you want to do. And I can tell that you have high hopes and dreams and aspirations because where are you at? You're at Clinton College on Wednesday, August the 17th, pursuing your dreams. Now we're gonna wrap it up, and I'm gonna end with this. I was really frustrated when I got out of college. I said, I've got these I've got these degrees. I got these 2 degrees from UNC Chapel Hill, but I can't find a doggone job. So I was actually driving back from a temporary job working in a mill in Albemarle, North Carolina, which is about 40 miles from Shawnee Grove. And God directed me to go to this place called the Department of Corrections Southern Piedmont office. So I stopped at the office, and it's amazing. An individual they had a position that hadn't been advertised, that had not been talked about. I went in the office, introduced myself to an individual named Mr. Abdul Bilal. And Mr. Bilal said, are you interested in working at the prison at Charlotte Correctional Center? And as an unemployed person with no job, what do you think my answer was? Absolutely, Mr. Bilal. So that started my professional career. I had an interview of about 5 minutes of a serious interview. He looked at my resume. He linked me up with the person who had been filling in that role, and that's how I started my professional opportunity. And what I'm encouraging you all to do is turn to your neighbor. This is your church example. Turn to your neighbor. Neighbor, say, I know you somebody. And that's poor grammar. I know you are someone. And I know you're going to be great. And when you go in the course of time, over the course of time, these individuals that are right around you will be some of your best networking resources. You will probably rely on them in ways you don't even think about. So definitely look at these folk. I'm looking up, and I said I was wrapping up, but let me give you one other story. When I left Child Protective Services, before I went to Child Protective Services, I was at probation parole. Before I was at probation parole, I was at Charlotte Correctional Center, and I couldn't get a job at probation parole. I was like, why can't I get a job at probation parole? I actually have a master's degree at this point. And this is in the old days before we had virtual learning. So I actually had to go to class, 2 to 3 nights a week. And I was working part-time and going to class and working during the day. But I couldn't get a job at probation parole. And somebody said, you need to contact this individual. And there was a guy named Dr. A.J. Turner, who was director of Minority Affairs to the governor in North Carolina, who's actually one of my fraternity brothers. That's why I got to connect. And I met with him one time. The meeting took about 5 minutes. And the same job that I've been applying for months and months that I could not get despite having some qualifications, guess how long it took for me to get that job? A phone call. I was employed 2 weeks later. The reason I share that is because you need to utilize your networks. You need to emulate. If you want to be a mechanic, you need to link up with a mechanic. If you want to be in IT, you need to link up with somebody in IT. If you want to be a professor, you need to link up with somebody who's a professor. If you want to be a student-oriented individual or a professor, you need to link up with those professors. If you want to be a college president, you have a college president you need to link up with. So emulate, make connections, utilize these skills and these opportunities. I know you said, dang, he talks a lot. Yeah, I do talk a lot. Finishing up, going to law school. How many of y'all are interested in going to law school? I need more hands. Nobody wants to be an attorney in here? You know attorneys, how many? One person in the back? You know the number of attorneys in the nation, it's only like 4% minorities are attorneys. We need more minority attorneys. We need more people engaged in the legal process. I'm not just talking about criminal law. If somebody signs a contract where they're representing somebody for music, who is managing or who is negotiating or who is reviewing that contract? An attorney. If you have intellectual property, if you write a song and somebody steals your song, how are you going to manage that? That's intellectual property. If there's property being passed on from someone who's deceased to somebody else, that's need for an attorney. So I do encourage y'all to look at being an attorney as an option. I went to law school a little later. Graduated from college in '86. Dad died in '86. So I said, let me go home and help my mom, who was in her 70s at that point, to help her along. And I didn't go back until 1998. And by the time I ended up going back to law school, my options were UNC Chapel Hill, got waitlisted. University of South Carolina, can I get some boos for USC? How many of y'all like USC? USC, I got denied. I didn't get admission at USC Law School. I got into Wake Forest Law, and I got into North Carolina Central Law. And I love North Carolina Central because North Carolina Central actually graduates a vast majority of the great litigators in the state of North Carolina in the United States. But I didn't go to Central mainly because they graduated a lot of Black, Hispanic, and women attorneys. I went to Central because the cost factor was much better. Wake Forest was $34,000 a year. This is 1998. Central was $12,000 a year. So I had grown-up responsibilities. I was married and I had a daughter. So I made a decision to go to Central, and it was a great decision. Although I had to commute from Charlotte to Durham, which was about 240 miles round trip a day. The reason I share that is because if you really want it, guess what? You can get it. And I was fortunate to have a friend, a frat brother, who lived in Durham, who allowed me to stay there on the days I wasn't working. So my work schedule was 4 days on, 3 days on, 3 days on, 4 days off. So I worked at night and I went to school during the day. Once again, I emphasize, if you want it, you can do it. Finally, I need for y'all to stand up because we are done. We are done with the exception of the questions and answers. The final thing I didn't talk to you about was human kindness. You know what human kindness is. You know how to treat your fellow person. That's not a hard thing. I don't even have to go through the analysis. It doesn't take a lot to treat people like they're supposed to be treated. You know what the Bible says about treating people. You're going to talk about loving Jesus and you don't even love your neighbor. That's a problem, right? So we're not going to go through that analysis, but you know what it is about human kindness. So stand up. And this is your line example. And when I was reading Dr. McCorn's bio, you do know he is a movie star. He was in School Days as a stepper for Alpha Phi Alpha, so you definitely need to get him to do a step for you at some point in time. But taking it back to those days, I need for y'all simply to repeat after me. Excuses are tools of incompetence. Excuses are tools of incompetence. Used to build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness. And those who use them seldom specialize in anything else. Lock that in your brain. Lock that in your brain because you don't have time for excuses. Y'all can do whatever you want to do. The fact that you are here today tells me you are about that life. You are about doing great things. Finally, that's it. Y'all can be seated again. I'm not going to make you do it 3 times. Instead of excuses, I want y'all to take a line from Lecrae and Ty Dolla $ign from their songs Blessings. If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before the come up. I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings. So I'm asking y'all to count it up, count it up, count it up. Thank you.
All right, let's give a round of applause for our speaker one more time. And now we're going to transition to our Q&A section moderated by Dr. McCorn, our college presidents. Let's welcome our college presidents to the floor, as well as our speaker back.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan. Let's give another hand again to Attorney Smith. Great job. I think it's really important for you all to hear what we call in the church a testimony. In addition to the lessons that he gave us, which are very good, and we're going to get some more out of Attorney Smith, you heard his testimony about where he came from and what he had to go through. And I hope that you have been informed and inspired by that to know that you can do that and more, right? There's no one in here who cannot become at least what Attorney Smith has talked about. And I'm hoping that more of you would consider going into the profession. He asked the question and very few hands went up, but there's a great need for lawyers in our country. And he talked about all the different things that lawyers can do. Thank you, Dr. Brown. And it's more than just standing up in a courtroom, right? I mean, we all watch Law and Order and we see these law shows and we think it's about standing in the courtroom, but there's so many other things that lawyers do to represent people, to represent communities, to represent the causes of social justice. So I want you all to start getting your questions in mind of what you want to ask Attorney Smith. But I want to begin by asking you to talk about your preparation for your profession, right? So for students who are here who may not have thought about being a lawyer, but now realize that there are steps that they can take, what should they start doing now if they're interested, even if they change their mind? Because I got a bunch of friends who were lawyers who didn't think they were going to be lawyers when they were in college, but something happened that turned them in that direction. So what's some advice you would give to them?
Thank you, Doctor. I don't really think it's critical that you look at any particular major, but I do encourage you to read and also to associate yourselves with attorneys and people that are in that space. As the college president indicated, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm a litigator, so I'm in court all the time, arguing cases. Guess who doesn't make any money? Litigators. You know who really makes a lot of money is the bank attorneys, is all the people behind the scenes. The people that don't go to court are the ones that really make money. But the reason I emphasize the law as a profession is because there are so many options and opportunities. If you don't want to practice law, you can teach. I know attorneys that are college presidents. There are so many options for you. That's why I encourage the law as an option. And if you're truly dedicated to helping people, the underserved, the challenged, the law is a great way to do it, whether it's from a business perspective or from a criminal perspective.
Good, thank you for that. Questions from students? Any questions you want to pose to this attorney, community leader, advocate? Go to the mic, Elijah.
All right, thank you.
So I know it took you a long time to get to where you are now, but how do you deal with failure?
Great question, because I just went through failure 3 months ago. On May the 17th, I lost an election for district court judge in Mecklenburg County. Initially, it was by a total of 59 votes. Did a recount. I ended up losing by 144 votes out of 70,000 plus votes. How did I deal with failure? Guess where I was the next day after that election? I was in trial, dealing with trial. So am I going to stop running for judge? No. Why? Because they need good judges. Not that the person I ran against won't be a great judge. I think she'll be a great judge. She's highly qualified. But I also know that I can and will be a great judge. So how do I deal with failure? I just, put it back down. You got to keep going, Eric Thomas, motivational speaker, said, no, actually, Kobe Bryant said before he passed that you can work hard and there's always going to be levels of doubt. There's going to be issues where you say, well, I can't do it. You may actually look at procrastination. There's self-doubt, lack of confidence. But if you're going to be great, what do you have to do? You have to keep putting your foot in the ground and keep moving forward, right? And you may fail sometimes, but if you fail, what happens? You still got to get up and do it again. I've lost before, I'll lose again. That's a part of being an attorney. I would like to say I'm a great attorney. Did I say that? Did I say I like to say I'm a great attorney? No, I am a great attorney. But do great attorneys lose? Yeah. Great attorneys lose. I'm gonna give you another story. One of my law school professors said he never lost a case. His criminal procedure law professor. He said, how in the world could he say he never lost a case? He said he never lost a case because he always got paid. So the reality is you always keep working. You always keep putting your foot in the ground. Thank you.
Okay, good. Other questions? You talked about your desire to run for judge, and would you talk about why it's important for someone of your background to be a judge?
Exactly. If you have an opportunity, pull this up on your phone. There is a law decision that just came down probably about 2 hours ago out of the federal court out of Pennsylvania. And I think most of y'all are probably too young to remember the situation. But in 2007, 2008, there were two Pennsylvania judges who were actually essentially sending children to detention for whatever. Some of these children had never been in any trouble before. Some of these children had just been arrested for things like stealing bubble gum. And he was sending them to detention facilities for profit. These two judges were sending them to for-profit detention facilities so they could do what? Line their own pockets. And they ended up making like $2 or $3 million. One of those judges ended up getting 27, 28 years in prison. The other got 17 years in prison. The day that civil judgment came down, they were ordered to pay $200 million. The reason, going back to your question, specifically, why do you need to have judges that look and think like us? Is because they need to have a sense. The people that appear before you need to have a sense that you have some level of connectivity with them. That doesn't mean I know all your struggles. The little bio about I didn't have any real struggles. My life was blessed. There are so many folk that I deal with in court on a regular basis that have real life struggles. Parents have substance abuse issues. Parents have this going on. But having that level of connectivity, I don't have a problem emphasizing fairness. I don't have a problem emphasizing accountability. I don't have an issue providing compassion with that focus on equity. That's why you need to have folk like us in those roles. And anybody ever been to court besides me? Speeding tickets and stuff. How does it feel when you go in court? Intimidating, right? I'm intimidated every day when I go to court, and I'm in court 4 or 5 times a week. That's why it's important to have people like us in court.
Final question. How would a student who's interested in being mentored, what would be a step for them to be mentored either by you or or a colleague?
Well, I'll share my information. It's kstricklandsmith@gmail.com, kstricklandsmith@gmail.com. And I'll send that to Dr. McNeil as well as your president. So you can hit me up. But there's some folks in South Carolina that you need to familiarize yourself, like solicitor Byron Gibson, who's a graduate of the College of Charleston, who's a solicitor for one of the local counties. There are a number of attorneys that would be more than willing to speak with you. There are a number of judges that I'm sure would be willing to speak with you because most judges know some of the challenges and struggles that come along with coming from different backgrounds, sometimes advantaged, sometimes disadvantaged backgrounds. So as I said in my presentation, just reach out. And one of the things I didn't cover in my presentation is one of the things that impacted my career adversely was the fact that I thought I knew too much, that I was like a lot smarter than I am. You know, when I was talking about not being able to get that first job, probably part of it was because I thought I was like really smart and I wasn't. And the other piece was I didn't utilize those networks and those resources and those professors. Some of your greatest advocates are going to be your professors and your deans. Talk to them. When I teach classes, the people that get the good grades from me are the ones that work really hard, yes. But let's say you have a 69 and you're right on the line. You know what's going to get you that better grade? Anybody coming to talk to me? If I see you putting forth effort, you can get that. And so that's what we need for you to do.
That's good. Okay, thank you. Dr. McCullough, you have a question? Okay, you come to the mic. This will be the last question. Oh, we got one online? Okay. Who's going to read it?
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. My brother graduated 86, Chapel Hill.
Oh, so we probably know one of them.
Yeah. So I'm aware of kind of what it takes. And he hit that moment where he spent too much time in the gym. And they told him, you got to make 2A, you got to go to summer school. You got to make 2A's, go to summer school to stay in. He had to make a decision. He buckled down and did it. He's my older brother, so he taught me about that. But you mentioned hardship and stuff. And when you get to those moments, I wonder, you being familiar with it, could you talk about, like, morally and spiritually and in your heart, what it takes? And I know you've experienced it because I know what y'all went through in that era there to push through a wall like that. What kind of determination, what does it take?
It does take that
what
faith
these students need to do when they get to situations like that.
Yeah, it takes that faith connectivity. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for parents that prayed for me, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for that praying community, I wouldn't be here, because it is easy to quit. It's like, all right, law school, for example. I got a C- in a law school class, and then at that time, anytime you got a C- your first year, you had to repeat a course. The option for me could have been like, what? Man, I'm done. I'm a grown up. I got a job. I don't have to do this. But I had to take that class again. Guess what area of law I know really well? That area, the one that I had to take over. So sometimes those failures, those bumps, push you forward. But as long as you've got that spiritual core, that spiritual connectivity, and going back to one of your pillars, you're good. You're good. You're gonna have some bumps. That's life. Anybody been through life without any bumps in here? Raise your hands. Oh, y'all are amazing. Y'all ain't had no bumps? Wow, I need your life. But that's the reality. Life is gonna throw some curves and some bumps at you. It is what it is.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, we have one question from online. It's from Regina Denise Moore Morgan. And she's specifically asking, what motivated you when you had to travel back and forth?
Family. The fact that I had a one-year-old daughter and a wife that supported me through that process. I knew I had to do it for them. That's what motivated me to pass the bar. The fact that I knew I had to do it for them. I said it's about me, but it's not about me. It's about bettering all of us. It's not just about me. So that family commitment pushed me.
Amen.
How you doing today?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just have a question. You were speaking on dishonesty. At what point did you realize that you were being dishonest with yourself or with your process? And what made you come to the realization that you had to flip the switch in a sense?
I'm still going through that process. I didn't say I told the truth every day, but I'm still going through that process. I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for you. I am a work in progress. So whenever I hit that wall, it's like, I know I've made that commitment that I'm going to do this by this time. That's, although you don't think it's a big thing, but that is being dishonest. So that's more of a challenge I have now. It's like, yo, I'm going to get this done for you by such and such a day. And such a day gets there, and I'm like, daggone, I haven't got it done. That's dishonest. Is it morally corrupt or wrong or anything? Not so much, but if I'm a person to honor my own commitments, I got to get it done. And right now, I got 3 projects like that I got to get done.
That's good. Okay, let's give it up again for Attorney Smith. Thank you so much. We're now going to have announcements.
Okay, next we're going to have our campus announcements. We're going to ask Coach Charleston to come up if she has any announcements from the athletic program. And if we can get a representative from the Beacon Academic Success Center to follow Coach Charleston.
Good morning. It's still morning. I'm still hoarse. Clinton Bears, the volleyball team is very excited to be a part of athletics here at Clinton College, and we will get started this week. That's why I sound like this, screaming over our music. But definitely, we will be in the gym tomorrow, so you'll get those introductions from all of our players on tomorrow, our coaching staff. We will be live and in color, in uniform. Thank you, Miss Vincent. Shout out to Miss Vincent. Y'all give her a shout. She's got us looking good for our season this year. We are still looking for managers, and we will have tryouts. So if you are here and you're able to come and support us on tomorrow at 6 p.m., and you're interested, you don't have to be able to do everything you see on the court. But if you can, I can do that. I can't do that yet. We can make sure you get from here to there. So if you're excited about volleyball, you're willing to be coached, and you have good work ethic, we would love to have you. So come and take a look at our squad tomorrow. August 29th, we will have tryouts from 6 to 8, so you have a little bit of time. You will need a physical, a current physical. You will also need a GPA 2.0. Definitely need to have a great work ethic and a great mindset to listen and to be helped. If we can listen, we can be helped. The final portion to that is just really having good team spirit. We're all about building each other up. We're always about learning and growing. I'm not done learning, and I hope you aren't either. But we definitely look forward to you guys coming out to support us tomorrow. Also looking for an additional manager. If you are interested in being a manager, please let me know. Thanks so much. Look for you tomorrow.
Oh, don't do that. Hello, good afternoon, Clinton College family. Dr. McCorn, how's everybody doing today? That was a great message, right? Thank you, Mr. Smith. I just wanted to come with some announcements. I am Miss Duckett, and I work in the Beacon Academic Success Center under the great leadership of Dr. Ike. And I want to shout out my team, Miss Vincent, who is our project advisor, Miss B, who is our administrative assistant, and the wonderful Coach Blair, who is the academic success coach. We will be having a Festival meet and greet mixer tomorrow. Well, actually Friday, Friday, August 19th at 12 p.m. So we'll be right here in the gym. So it's called the Festival, and it's going to be like a meet and greet mixer for us to love on each other, for you to get an opportunity to really meet the staff in the Beacon Academic Success Center. So we hope that you can come and hang out with us on Friday, August 19th at 12 p.m. in the Martin Gymnasium. Shout out to our wonderful new volleyball team and our new cheerleaders. Go Bears.
Just before Dr. Morgan comes to close us out, I did want to take this opportunity to let you all know we do have our new director of counseling here now. So if you all would just look in the back, I'm gonna have Miss Elkins just kind of stand and raise her hand. Can we give her a warm Clinton College welcome? We know how important our mental health is, and so we are excited to have Miss Elkins join us. Her office is in Slade, room 101, the first floor in Slade building. So welcome again, Miss Elkins.
All right, as we close out this week's Beacon Forum session, just want to remind everyone, after this is over, please report to your freshman seminar classes following this session, all right? Please report to your freshman seminar course after this session. All right, everyone should have received the alma mater via your email, your college email, so if you don't know it, verbatim. It's in your email, so please open that up now. We're going to close out with our alma mater, so everyone please rise.
We